Hey everyone, this video is for Module 14, which is covering speaking and ethics. Like always, before we get started, a couple announcements. So your Shark Tank speeches have been graded and commented on. I thought every group did an excellent job. There were some really cool, unique products and services out there. So well done on that. I know that doing a group project in the middle of a pandemic online is not ideal. So thank you for all of your efforts and being communicative with myself and with your teammates throughout that speech. Also, I've added in your SONA extra credit. If you did participate in a SONA research study this semester, you should see 10 points in that column. Conversely, if you didn't, you should see a 0. Let me know if you think I've made a mistake on that. If you think you participated, definitely reach out, let me know. That 10 points, that 0 points don't get actually added into that percentage grade you see on Canvas. I will manually add in that 1% at the end of the semester once all of your other assignments have been submitted and graded. Also, course evaluations, you should have gotten an email this week about that. It would mean a lot to me if you could fill those out as honestly as possible. Like every human being, I make mistakes and there are definitely things I can improve on. So please let me know what you think I could do better to help future students not have to suffer as much. And also just like other humans, I like to hear when I do things well. So if you could tell me things that I'm doing well and that I should keep doing for future sections, definitely let me know. And then finally, there is no final exam in this class. So pretty much once we get through the end of next week, once everything from Module 15 and 15A is submitted, you're done with this class. So you get to not worry about it during finals week at all. So once everything that is due, any outstanding assignments you have, everything must be turned in by May 9th because I need that time during finals week to be able to grade everything, calculate your final grades, and submit them to my UNLV. All right. So your persuasive speech is your last big speech. It's worth 20% of your grade. So here's just some tips and things that I want you to really focus on as you are crafting your persuasive speech. So the first one, number one, follow the correct outline templates. Okay. So you either have the problem solution outline template or the problem cause solution outline template. Doesn't matter to me which one you use, but just make sure that you are using that correct outline template. That will help. Getting started with the right outline is going to help the rest of your speech immensely. So definitely make sure that you are using the right templates for that. So when you're doing the speech, go really in depth on a problem. Okay. Tell me what that problem is and then really explain how it's a problem, who it affects, what other issues are arising because of that problem. The more detailed and the more in depth you can be about the problem, the better your speech will be. If you choose to do the problem cause solution, go and identify the root cause. What is causing this problem? Talk through that as well. That one's completely optional. Again, if you're just doing the problem solution, you do not need to worry about going in depth on the cause as well. And so then finally, your solution, you need to have one good solution, one thing that we can collectively do to help solve that problem. So don't just say, like, oh, we need to educate people. Okay, well, what does that mean? How do I educate people? Tell me, like, um, I should vote for this politician or I should support this bill that's being introduced in the Nevada state legislature or the US legislature, or there is an organization that's actively working on this problem that we should donate to or volunteer for. Those are the kind of things I'm looking for, because at the end of the speech, your audience should know exactly what you want them to do to solve the problem. So if you've ever heard of the bystander effect, it's basically this concept in psychology that's points out that if you don't directly address people and tell them what to do, nobody's going to do it because everybody thinks that somebody else is going to do it. So like if you're in an emergency situation, don't just say somebody call the police, point at someone and say you call the police. That way that person knows it's their job, it's their responsibility to make that phone call. So the same idea applies to this persuasive speech. Tell your audience, you need to do this. Tell me what to do to help solve this problem. The more direct you are and the more concise and clear you are, the better your speech will be. This speech, you need to have 4 sources. One of them must be .gov because social issues often arise from like policy decisions or laws that happen that govern us. Those are usually going to be found in more detail on like .gov sites. Okay, so yeah, one has to be .gov. The rest can be whatever you want, scholarly, popular, doesn't matter to me. Make sure you are incorporating your audience analysis. That's a 10 points from the rubric is about your audience analysis. So make sure that you're using your audience analysis in a way that it actually contributes to your speech. Don't just throw it in there at some point and just to have it in there, but make sure it act like your references, like your citations, make sure that it's actively adding to your speech and contributing something to it. Um, just like the oral citations, make sure you're just, kind of introducing it, saying, something like, according to my audience analysis, blah, 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 blah. For your oral citations, don't forget that you need the author's name, their credibility, the publication info, and the date. Okay, a lot of people forget the date, which loses some easy points as well. Also, don't forget your visual aid for this speech. So kind of like how I'm doing right now, this is what I'm expecting to see for your submission for the persuasive speech. Share your screen, have a PowerPoint, Google Slides, Prezi, whatever you want. But again, make sure that what you have on your slides contributes to your presentation. Don't just post a bunch of stuff and read off of it. Make sure it's adding something to your presentation. Stay within the time limit. Time penalties can get rough, especially if you go way over or way under. So this one's 6 to 8 minutes. So your speech must be between 5 minutes and 30 seconds and 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And then the biggest one, do not read or memorize your outlines. I've given a lot of manuscript penalties this semester. I know it's really easy and really tempting to just read off of your outlines. But again, I promise you that even if you stumble and say, and mumble a few times, you will not lose as many points as you would if you just read off of your manuscript or memorized it. Okay. That's pretty much all I have for this video. So what's due this week? You have your module 14 quiz that's due tonight. And then you have your persuasive speech practice and peer review. Hopefully you cannot make grammar mistakes like me and be able to space appropriately between your words, but persuasive speech practice and peer review is due this Sunday. And then I'll give you until Monday night again to give those comments. So remember, we want to make sure that every student gets some feedback on their video. If it's Monday at 11:50 and there's no submissions left that don't have a comment, yes, you can double comment on someone, but I really want everybody to read and watch somebody's that does not have any feedback yet, just so everybody has a chance. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, come to my drop-in hours, let me know. I'm happy to help. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you all next week for our last video.